Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this August the 27th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody had a great Sunday out there so far. Everybody has a great Sunday evening. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Alright, in today's video, we're going to talk about your forecast for Monday and Tuesday. Also, we're going to take a look at Tropical Storm Idalia. Also, we're going to take a look at the Watches, Warning, and Advisory map for your location across the nation. Also, we're going to take a look at the storm reports today and also the Storm Prediction Center overview and a few other products. And also, we're going to take a look at Hurricane Franklin and in the tropical Atlantic as well. Alright, sorry for no video this afternoon. I had somewhere to go. Didn't have time to make one. Also, my computer was messing up. So hopefully this here video gets posted and everybody get a chance to see my forecast. But I do apologize for no forecast today. Hopefully tomorrow through all of next week, I'll be able to do 2 videos per day once again. I'm sorry about that. I do apologize. Greatly apologize for it. But if you're a new viewer and you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to it. Love to have you. Also like these videos, share these videos, consider subscribing if you have not. Once again, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. We're fixing to go ahead and dive on into the forecast, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road. Alright, as you can see here, we got quiet conditions around Quebec, Canada, through Montreal, Toronto, Canada, portion of northern Maine as well. Also in towards Chicago, toward Ohio, Kentucky, down toward the Dallas area, up toward Oklahoma, Kansas. Also through the Dakotas, southern Canada, back toward the southwestern portion of Canada, the high pressure is in charge. Also through portions of Washington State, through Idaho, Oregon, down toward San Francisco, Los Angeles. Also down toward the Gulf of California. Also down in central Mexico as well. Also toward Arizona and Utah as well. Alright. We got showers and storms over around Vancouver, Canada, through Seattle, Washington, northern Oregon. Also over in southern Montana, through Wyoming, also through Denver, Colorado. Also into New Mexico, down in the northern Mexico as well. Through Texas, down toward the Houston area, down into the Gulf of Mexico, down toward the Florida Keys, Miami area, around the Atlanta metro area, Columbia, South Carolina region, through North Carolina, also through West Virginia, also in the Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, and the Boston area, toward New Hampshire, portion of New York State and Pennsylvania. Here is Hurricane Franklin, located off the southeast coast, also just east of the Bahamas. Also here is Tropical Storm Idalia. On this map here, still showing Tropical Storm 10, but it's really Tropical Storm Idalia. Alright, in the red slashed area here across Georgia and the Carolinas, also in the portion of Tennessee, also Alabama, some heavy rain and flash flooding will be possible on Monday. Alright, here's your forecast for Tuesday. As you can see, we got quiet conditions extended all the way from Quebec, Canada, through portions of southern Canada, also over towards the southwestern portion as well, through portion of toward Chicago, Illinois, and the portion of Toronto, Canada, through portion of Ohio, Kentucky, down toward the Dallas area, back into Texas, all the way through Arizona, down into central Mexico, also Gulf of California, through Los Angeles, San Francisco, portion of Oregon, Idaho, and Montana, and portion of the Dakotas as well. We got a big area of showers and storms over here in portion of southern Canada, around Vancouver, in the Seattle, Washington, portion of Oregon, Idaho, and in the Montana. Also over here in southern Colorado, through New Mexico, northern Mexico, South Texas, down in the Gulf of Mexico, also through Mississippi, down toward the Florida Keys, down toward Havana, Cuba as well. Also in the Miami area, toward Atlanta, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, Boston, New Hampshire, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania areas as well. Here is Hurricane Franklin, located off the southeast coast once again, not too far from Bermuda. Also, here is tropical down in the Gulf of Mexico. Down here in the red slashed area, some flash flooding possible across Florida and Georgia and Alabama as Idalia continues to lift on off to the north and northeast. Alright, here's a look at Idalia now this afternoon and evening. This is the satellite imagery. Looked like it's getting pretty well organized. It moved a little bit further to the south and moved back over into the northern Caribbean Sea. Like I said, the reason yesterday was that high pressure ridge to the north is shoving that thing to the south. But that high pressure ridge is expected to break down and continue to shift on off to the east, and it's going to allow Idalia to move to the north. But as you can see, it looked pretty well organized this evening in the tropical Caribbean. All right, let's take a look at the tropical cone here of Idalia from the National Hurricane Center. Still waiting on everything to come up. Here we go. Okay. As you can see here, here's the center of the storm. There's the little bit of tropical storm force wind. We still have a tropical storm warnings in effect for the Yucatan Peninsula. Also over here in ports of Cuba, the tropical storm watch is also in effect for the northwestern Caribbean island. Also down to a portion of the Florida Keys, southern Florida. We have a hurricane watch in effect for South Florida all the way back over to ports of the Panhandle of Florida, the Big Bend region. You're included. All right. The forecast track takes it this way. 1 a.m. Tuesday, it should be located here, the hurricane. 1 p.m. Tuesday should be located here, approaching the Big Bend area of Florida here on Wednesday a.m. Then into to southeast Georgia as a tropical storm, not too far from Savannah, Georgia. And then it kind of the center of the storm continues to move this way. Coast. There's still this cone can shift either way still. The reason they went a little further to the east because it shifted back down towards the southeast. If this storm continues to, if that storm happens to move a little bit further over to the east, then make a move, then they may have to drop this here, the cone down further, and then it would just kind of move on out toward where Franklin is at this time. So, we're just going to have to keep eye on it. Or if the system decides to make a little bit jog back to the west, this cone could shift back to the west once again. So we'll have to keep eye on the cone and see what happens. But anyway, if you're tracking Idalia at home, located near latitude 20.1 north, longitude 85.5 west, maximum sustained winds was up to 40 miles per hour, movements to the northeast at 3 miles per hour. See, that's why I said it could, if it moves a little further over this way, and then it decides it wants to turn and go up, it could be a little further to the right of this cone. So I would not be surprised to see the cone maybe shift a little further east if it keeps going that. But if it finally makes that turn to the northwest, then it's going to be right on cue for this area here. All right, let's take a look at the. We're going to take a look at the computer model guided. Some of them is starting to indicate the right turn. See, there is a few of them going about the way I was talking about, going across southern Florida and then out to the coast. Most of the models now has shifted from one from central South Carolina, but most of them going right along the coastal areas almost of the Carolinas. Just about like what the European model been showing the whole time. But this here could still shift back to the northwest a little bit. It depends on how this storm involves. But like since yesterday, this system has shifted a little bit back into the Caribbean Sea. That's what changed the track of the storm a little bit, I noticed this afternoon and this evening. Now, if this storm continues to move on off a little bit back to the, move off to the northeast and kind of to the east a little bit more, it may follow one of these two lines over here, one of these computer models here, and could go across southern Florida and leave the southeast United States alone, just mainly affect Florida and maybe the coastal areas of the Carolinas. Something we'll have to watch and see. Will the track shift back to the west? I don't think so. Will the shift go back to the east? There's a possibility it could. So I would not be surprised. The system could shift a little bit, inch a little bit further to the east. So, but like I said, will it shift to the right? Like I said, it's about like a 80% shot. So 80% it won't, 20% it could, but that's a real narrow window. But will it go to the right, shift a little further offshore, a little more to the right? I'm looking at about a 50, about a 90, 10% it won't, 90% it may happen. So I would not be surprised to see that shift maybe a little bit to the east. But this is my own opinion. This is my opinion. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I'm right, I'm right. But like I said, the computer models, like I said, there's 3 computer models. It's taking it to the right now. So if 3 of them taking it, there's only a few taking, and most of the computer models has shifted a little further to the east, like these other models have. I would not be surprised. It may here in the Carolinas, we may escape most of the bad weather of this system, but if it happens to jog back more to the left, but like I say, it's about a 80%. 20% it might, 80% it probably won't. But anyway, I just want to give you a little heads up on that. I would not, like I said, I would not be surprised to see that cone shift a little bit further to the east. What I got it, as you can see here, it's around 35 knot wind. That's why it's 40 miles per hour. It's a tropical storm. So they do take it up to a Category 2 hurricane. Last night it peaked into a Category 3. Will it become a Category 3 hurricane? It's a slim chance, but I would not be. But Category 1 to 2 look more likely now at this time. So we'll just have to wait and see. And then it goes back down to a tropical storm because it goes across land some and just kind of remains over the tropical coastal waters of the southeast United States. But can it become a Category 3? There's a possibility. But right now, things are looking more like just a Category 2 hurricane at this time. But we'll just have to wait and see, folks. All right, that's your tropical update. Let's go ahead and take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location across the nation. All right, as you can see here, we got some heat advisory over here in portion of Washington State. Air quality alert for you guys over here in Oregon State. Also, we got some heat advisory. It says some heat warnings in effect for Southern California. Excuse me. Also, Southern Arizona and Western Arizona. And also, we have some sets of heat warning for Texas, Louisiana, and also a portion of Mississippi. And also Southern Arkansas. We have heat advisory for you guys here in portion of South Central Texas, Northeast Texas, Southern Arkansas, Central Mississippi, much of Alabama, much of Georgia. We got some red flag warnings also in effect for some areas down here in portion of Louisiana as well with that wildfire ongoing. We got some hurricane statements, some special weather statements down here in southern Georgia, the Florida area, also the East Coast, much of Florida as well. Hurricane watches also in effect. Tropical storm watches down here as well. Hurricane watches, hurricane warnings in the coastal waters. Also down across southern Cuba. Also in the coastal waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Also out here, we got tropical storm and hurricane warnings out in the Atlantic Ocean with Hurricane Franklin. We got some flood advisory for portions of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. Flood watch also for eastern North Carolina. Flood advisory for Virginia and also over towards Kentucky. Flood watches in effect. Flood advisory also in effect for you guys in portions of Colorado and Arizona. And a few special weather statements also in effect for portions of Wyoming as well. All right, got a few severe thunderstorm warnings also for you guys in Louisiana and also into Texas, also in that area. All right, we still got those storm warnings in effect around Alaska. Some flood watches in effect for central Alaska, southern Alaska, wind advisory east. Hawaii and Chain Island looks a-okay. As you can see here, we got just general thunderstorm pretty much from Washington State all the way down to Texas, also up toward Minnesota and North Dakota. General thunderstorm from Texas all the way to the mid-Atlantic region, portion of the Northeast. Here's that little frontal boundary kind of just setting across the southeast United States. That's why they got that marginal risk along that frontal boundary. Any of these storms can become severe. There was a few severe storms this afternoon in my area in the Carolinas here. Must have been after 3. I wasn't here though. But when I got back, I didn't. That was around 4 o'clock or a little after 4. I didn't have no power. But when I got back, I left the house, came back again around a little bit after 6. I had power again. So thanks to the power company for getting my power back on. Greatly appreciate that. All right, let's take a look at the convective outlook. That's pretty much just what I showed you. Current watches, none in effect. MDS discussion, currently none in effect. Storm report, currently as of this recording, we had 0 tornado reports. Wind was 10. They pretty much took place in North Carolina, Georgia. They have not reported these in South Carolina yet. They probably will as soon as the map updates a little later. Also, one in Texas, also over toward Louisiana. We had 3 hail reports, pretty much down in southern Louisiana, Mississippi area. Total number 13. I would not be surprised to see them go up to around 20. All right, fire weather. Still got the elevated risk over parts of Oklahoma and down into Texas. Let's take a look at, I'm going to show you convective outlook day number 2. Since I did not get a chance to show y'all the severe weather. Got some more severe weather for convective outlook for number 2. This will be your Monday forecast. We still got that marginal risk in from North Carolina through South Carolina down to Louisiana along that frontal boundary. General thunderstorm elsewhere in Washington, Oregon State. Also over here in portions of Montana, down into portions of Nevada. Not New Mexico and Arizona, excuse me, Texas, all the way up into portions of Northeast New York State, down to Florida Keys, and over toward the Florida Panhandle. Alright, if you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, New Orleans, Louisiana, Atlanta, Georgia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, marginal risk for severe weather on Monday. The tornado probability is less than 2% in all areas. Winds, same area, 5% from Charlotte, North Carolina to Greensboro, North Carolina, including Atlanta, Georgia, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Raleigh, North Carolina. The hail probability less than 5% in all areas. Let's take a look at day 3. We do have some severe weather to talk about for day number 3. It's going to be along the Big Bend region area of Florida, where that hurricane is expected to make landfall per the Hurricane Center. But to my opinion, it could go a little further to the east than this here. So, but anyway, let's take a look at the convective outlook. They got it marginal risk down here in Florida. Also marginal risk over in the portion of Washington State, Idaho, in the portion of Montana, and portion of Northeast Oregon. Alright, if you live in Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, Spokane, Washington, Gainesville, Florida, Clearwater, Florida, marginal risk, probability, 5% to brown, same areas. This includes Tampa, Florida, all the way to Clearwater, Florida, including Spokane, Washington, Petersburg, Florida, and Gainesville, Florida for day number 3, which is Tuesday. Alright, now we're going to finally wrap it up, the video, with Franklin. Alright, here's the information on Tropical Storm Franklin. Here's the Hurricane Tropical Storm wind field. Hurricane wind field a little bit smaller around that X area there. If you plotting this storm at home, current location is located near latitude 25.9 north, longitude 70.0 west. Maximum sustained winds are near 100 miles per hour, and movement is to the north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. That is classified as a hurricane right now because winds of 110 miles per hour. Soon it becomes a 111 miles per hour to, I think, 125 miles per hour, 26 or something. It's classified as a Category 3 hurricane, so right now it's a Category 2. Tomorrow afternoon it should become a major hurricane and remain a major hurricane through Wednesday, and then remain a Category 2 as it continues to lift on out to the north and east, and then kind of just die out to a post-tropical cyclone as it moves on over toward Europe. Alright, let's take a look at the remainder of the tropics. I think we just got pretty much just this system here, Franklin and Idalia. They have not got the other one marked, but it's still like a 20% risk coming off the African coast. So somewhere right in here, they'll have it marked in the next 7 days. I figured they'll probably put the X on here soon, probably tomorrow or the next day. Alright, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I hope everybody continues to stay safe and well. I'm sorry I missed the forecast for today, but we'll fill you in on some information today, this evening anyway. So Have a great evening. Take care, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and like I said, consider subscribing if you have not. And we'll catch you back in the next video. So have a great, great Sunday evening, folks.